Hey everybody, it's me, Ben. Are you ready for my quick picks? Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Ben's Quick Picks. Now, last week I had a pretty good week with my picks for week 4. Um, you know, it was a tough week, obviously. We've seen a few upsets here and there, but overall I'm pretty happy. And let me show you how I did last week, and show you my overall record for this season. All right, everybody, you just saw what my record was last week for week 4 and my overall record for the year. So let's go ahead and move on to week 5, and I'll give you my picks for those for week 5. So the Thursday night game, maybe not the most exciting game unless you're really, if you're just a Commanders fan. I don't even know if you're excited about this if you're a Bears fan. But it is the Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders. This is a game, there's two teams pretty much going in different directions. The Bears they blew a lead last week. They were up 28-7. They end up losing 31-28. Just a tough loss for the Bears, tough season for them. They got to go to Washington on a short week. The Commanders, really played Philly very tough last week and just couldn't get it done in overtime. But they are 2-2, and I think the Commanders are a much better team. And in this game, it's going to be no different. So give me the Commanders over the Bears. I'll go 24-14. All right, the first game on Sunday will be an early one. It's the London game. The Jaguars are in London again. This time they're the road team. They're designated as the road team. They're going up against Buffalo, who's designated as the home team. And this is an interesting game. The Jaguars stayed in London, obviously, beat the Falcons last week. You kind of got a glimpse of what Jacksonville can be and how good they could be. But then again, you got Buffalo, who, after their tough start opening night against the New York Jets, Josh Allen's taking care of the ball much better. The defense is playing much better. And right now, this is going to be a close game, but I just think Buffalo's a little too good, and Jacksonville's just not consistent enough. I'm going to go with the Bills in this game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I like Buffalo in this game. Give me Buffalo 27-20 over the Jaguars. All right, the next game's kicking off Sunday will be the Houston Texans visiting the Atlanta Falcons. Houston's won 2 in a row. They beat Jacksonville, and then they beat Pittsburgh at home. Meanwhile, Atlanta started out 2-0, but then they went on the road for the next 2 games, lost to the Lions and the Jaguars. For me, right now, I'm looking at a team that's starting to get hot and a team that's starting to cool down. And not only cool down, but we're finding out just what this team really is. And I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not a big believer in Desmond Ridder. Their best weapons are Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson, and they don't utilize their receiving game too much. When you got Drake London and Kyle Pitts, those are some nice weapons, and unfortunately, they're not utilizing them. And I think defensively, if you stop the running game, you're going to have a good chance to beat the Falcons. And I think the Texans are going to do that. Plus, C.J. Stroud, so far, he's really impressed me, especially these last 2 games. And the defense has stepped up big time for the Texans. I'm going to actually go Houston on this one. I think they beat Atlanta 23-17. All right, the Ravens at the Steelers. This is a big AFC North rivalry. It's been that way for the last 2 decades. You can even go back further when the Ravens were the former Cleveland Browns. Ravens last week, I said they were going to beat the Browns, and they did on the road big time. They just seem to have the Browns number. Now, it did help that Deshaun Watson didn't play, but I still would have picked the Ravens to beat the Cleveland anyway. Lamar Jackson's starting to get it going a little bit. I know they have a lot of injuries, but for Pittsburgh, great defense, but just no offense. And, last week they got annihilated by Houston. Kenny Pickett did get hurt, but there are signs pointing to him actually playing this week. He just has a sprained MCL. Knee injury or no knee injury, the Ravens' defense is just so good. They're going to eat Kenny Pickett alive. I like the Ravens in this game. They're just better offensively, very good defensively, and they're going to win this game. We'll go 20-14 in a classic AFC North matchup. Moving on to Carolina at Detroit. Again, these are two teams going in opposite directions. Carolina, they're 0-4, but they're rebuilding. It's been a tough start so far. Bryce Young, he's learning on the job. He's getting a little better, but right now they're running into a very good Detroit team who's just getting better and better, especially defensively. Last week they didn't even have all their weapons and they still won, beating Green Bay. And I think this is going to be no different. I think Detroit, they're the better team, better offensively, better defensively, more experience on both sides of the ball. Carolina, they're okay defensively, but just not enough offense. And Detroit's just, way ahead of Carolina as far as, experience and talent. So give me Detroit over Carolina, 31-21. All right. Giants at the Dolphins. This past Monday night, Giants got annihilated by Seattle. Daniel Jones, you can say what you want about him. I'm not high on him either, but when you don't have an offensive line, you're going to look like garbage. And that's what Seattle did. They treated him like garbage. And, my fat ass can get past that Giants offensive line. That's how bad it is. And for Miami, tough loss at Buffalo, division game. I had Miami beating Buffalo last week. Maybe I went overboard with them, but, they did come back down to earth a little bit. But this week, I think this is a get-right game for Miami. And for the Giants, it's just going to get tougher and tougher because they got to play the Bills the following week. We don't even know if Saquon Barkley is going to play. We don't even know if Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, is going to play for the Giants. Even if they did, the game might be closer, but I like Miami in this one. This is their get-right game, and that's what's going to happen. I like Miami. Let's go 34-20. All right, the New Orleans Saints visit the New England Patriots. Kind of went back and forth on this game. The New England Patriots are favored in this one. However, they lost Christian Gonzalez, their rookie corner for the year, and they also lost Matthew Judon. Did I say that right? Matthew Judon, yeah. Judon's probably their best defensive player. And New England got annihilated by Dallas this past week. Mac Jones is just not getting it done. And for New Orleans, they're kind of been disappointing. They lost to my Bucks last week. We annihilated them. This is going to be a very low-scoring game, but I tend to favor a better offense. And right now, New Orleans has slightly a better offense. Alvin Kamara just got back last week. I think he's going to get it going again. I know the Patriots have a good defense, but you disagree? You think the Patriots have a great defense? You think the Saints have a better defense? I'm just kidding. That's just the dog next door barking, but probably a Patriots fan. But anyway, I just, when you lose Judon and Christian Gonzalez, I think that's going to make it tough for their good defense. And I'm going to go with the Saints on the road here, despite being an underdog. I like New Orleans. We'll go 20-14 over the New England Patriots. All right, Tennessee Titans are at the Indianapolis Colts. The Titans really rebounded this past week over the Cincinnati Bengals, blew them out. Meanwhile, the Colts lost a tough one in overtime to the Rams, even though they were down big early in that game, made a comeback to tie it up to take it to overtime. The Colts have Jonathan Taylor practicing. If he plays, that'd be a big boost. But I'm actually going to go Tennessee here. I don't know. Well, mainly because they've won the last four on the road. Or, I'm sorry, the last 4 games in a row. Titans have just had their number lately, and I think that's going to continue. But it'll be a good game, good division matchup. The winner in this AFC South matchup, I'm going to go with the Titans in a close one. I'm going to go 19-16 over the Colts. All right, let's go to the afternoon games. The Philadelphia Eagles visit the Los Angeles Rams. The Eagles 4-0, but it's been kind of a mediocre 4-0. I think they haven't played their best football yet. Meanwhile, the Rams have kind of surprised people. They're 2-2. Stafford's been playing pretty good. The rookie Pacheco, I guess that's how you say his name, and Cooper Kupp starting to practice. This has the makings for an upset here, but I'm going to slightly favor the Eagles here. I think, again, they're the more talented team on both sides of the ball. However, the Rams don't have much of an offensive line, and the Eagles can stop the run very good, and Kyren Williams is a very good running back, but I think the Eagles keep him in check. It's going to be a close game. There's some upset vibes here, but I'm going to stick with the Eagles here in a closer game than people expect. I'm going Philly 24-21. I think they win by 3 in a close game. Give me the Eagles 24, Rams 21. All right. The Bengals at the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I think we thought they would be what they are as far as record goes. They're 1-3. They had that great win against Dallas, but I still don't think they're that good. Lost a tough one to the Niners last week. The Bengals, meanwhile, they're 1-3 as well. They're not playing good football. Just a lot of things going on. T. Higgins got hurt. He's not going to play in this game. Jamar Chase being upset. He's not getting enough touches. Joe Burrow's dealing with that calf injury. Yada, yada, yada. So it's tough, but I'm actually going to go with the Bengals here. Maybe that'll bite me in the ass. I don't know. But I just feel at some point they're going to get it together. And I think this is the game they're going to get it together. It might be closer than people think, but I'm going to go Bengals here, 27-24 over the Cardinals. The New York Jets are at the Denver Broncos. Teams that are very disappointing. Denver had to come back, being down 21 to the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, the Jets played a great game, I thought, against the Chiefs. Hung in there with them. They ended up losing 23-20. There's some controversy with some calls here and there. Zach Wilson probably played the best game of his career. He did make that one mistake, that fumble, that turnover. But right now, when you look at this game, both teams are awful. Especially offensively. It's a matter of who do I trust more right now. And believe it or not, I actually trust the Jets more. The Broncos should have lost to the Bears last week. Their defense is terrible. Patrick Surtain's their best defensive player. But I just feel like if Zach Wilson can put on that performance against the Chiefs, I don't see why he can't do it against this awful Denver Broncos defense. I'm actually going to go Jets here. I'm going to go 19-14 over the Broncos. It's going to be an ugly game, but I think the Jets are going to squeak by and win their second game of the year. In Denver, they're just going to continue to struggle. All right, Chiefs at the Vikings. The Chiefs talked about holding on last week. We all know what's going on, the whole trailer, thing. I'm not going to say the name because everybody else is saying it. They're going up to Minnesota. Minnesota. Here's another game that I could see an upset because Minnesota hasn't really played all that bad this year. They just can't close. They haven't, you know, closed the deal in certain games. They should have beaten the Chargers. No, they should have beaten my Bucks. But I think for some reason Kansas City's gonna. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think Kansas City once again is gonna squeak by. I almost did pick the Vikings for this upset. I'm not gonna live that dangerously. I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. They'll win this game 26-24. I think it's going to be very close, but Kansas City's just going to squeak by. All right, now for probably the game of the week. This is a game I'm looking forward to watching. I have no dog in the fight. It's the Cowboys at the 49ers. Two very good teams, two great defenses, two pretty good offenses. You got Dak Prescott and you got Brock Purdy. Interesting matchup. Dallas came off a huge win against New England, blew them out, beat a pretty good defensive team. The Niners, they're rolling right now, undefeated. They beat the Cardinals last week. This is a tough game to call, but I'm going to stick with the home team here. The Niners just seem to have their number lately, and Dak Prescott, in these big moments, doesn't always shine. I think he'll play well in this game, but I think the Niners just have a little bit more on both sides of the ball. It's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go with the Niners here, 31-28 over the Cowboys. I think they win it on maybe a last-second field goal. It's going to be a good game. Maybe I could even see this maybe going to overtime, but I'm going to go with the Niners, 31-28 over the Dallas Cowboys. And finally, the Monday night game, another blah game unless you're a Packers fan or a Raiders fan. It's Green Bay at Las Vegas, here in my hometown of Las Vegas. Green Bay, they've had a couple tough losses lately. Two of their last three games. They did have that comeback win against New Orleans. You could say maybe they should be 1-3. Meanwhile, the Raiders are the Raiders. Yeah, they won their first game against Denver, but look how Denver's doing. And they've lost their last three games. And Raiders came close last week to upsetting the Chargers. With Aiden O'Connell filling in for Jimmy Garoppolo, who's I guess apparently still in concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to be cleared this week or not. It's going to be an interesting game. Something tells me I should take the Raiders here. But with the Packers getting their weapons back, Aaron Jones is coming back, Christian Watson came back last week. I think, with the time off they've had, the little extra time off from the Thursday night game they played, I think they're going to get it together. Jordan Love's going to get it together. This is going to be a close game, but the Raiders, they got some injuries. They just seem to be too mistake prone. I'm going to go with the Packers here in a very close game. Give me Green Bay over the Las Vegas Raiders. We'll go 28-24. Going to be some high scoring game, but the Packers are going to do just a little bit more than the Raiders. So I like the Packers beating the Raiders in this game 28-24. And those are my picks for the week. Hopefully I can get 10 wins out of this one. There's 14 games. We have 4 teams that are on a bye this week. The Browns, my Bucks, Chargers, and Seahawks. So just 14 games. If I can win 10 this week, I'll be pretty happy. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and see how I do here. I'm 44-20 so far. I'm kind of hitting a good streak here. Let's see if we can continue that. But here's my picks. I'll just show you one more time my picks for this week right there. Go ahead and take a look at them, see what you think. If you agree, disagree, see what you think. All right, those are my picks for the week. And like I said, put your comments in the comments section. Also, please give me a like and share on this page, Ben Cornett 9015. Would greatly appreciate that. Hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's Ben Cornett 9015. And everybody, let's enjoy week 5. And we'll be back next week here for Ben's quick picks. We'll see how I did this past week, and we'll give you my week 6 predictions. So everybody, have a great week of football, and I will see you soon. Take care.